Sam Harris says, is it time to let Alex Jones back on Twitter at Elon Musk? If not, why not? Elon Musk says, suffer little children and forbid them not to come unto me, for of such is the kingdom of heaven. Kim.com replies, Alex Jones up with Sandy Hook. Oh, I think it's Alex fucked up with Sandy Hook, actually. I was wondering why they blurred out Jones. He admitted that and apologized. He also got a lot of conspiracy theories right. If serial liars like Biden and Trump are allowed on Twitter, then Alex Jones should be allowed too. Please reconsider in the interest of real free speech. Elon Musk says, my firstborn child died in my arms. I felt his last heartbeat. I have no mercy for anyone who would use the deaths of children for gain, politics, or fame. Anyway, a year later, he unbanned him. And here we are. Celebrate good times. Come on. Bum, 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 bum. Alex Jones, baby, he's back on Twitter. Nice. Oh, yeah. Remember when Alex Jones was banned from every damn thing under the sun? Well, now he's back, baby. He's back in a big way. Not only is he back, he just participated in a big old conversation with Andrew Tate and Elon Musk. They, I don't know, it's been viewed like millions of times or whatever. Of course, that's by the weird way that Twitter tracks views, which is basically anybody who, you know, so much as scrolled past it is a viewer, but whatever, you know, still a lot of people have seen the interview or at least heard it. It was a audio thing, but still a lot of people have asked me, hey, where do you do your live streams? And the answer to that is that I do live streams called Abandon Hope every Sunday on the Pessimist Productions Patreon. That is linked down below. There is all sorts of other stuff on that Patreon as well. It is about $7 a month, and I think that we offer a pretty generous amount of content in exchange for that membership. So if that's something that interests you, be sure to check out the Patreon link in the description section of this video. Yeah, I guess Elon Musk finally got over, you know, his child dying in his arms, because now Alex Jones is back on the platform. Here you go. Here's Alex. He's got a blueprint to destroy the New World Order.
Myself back to Twitter.
Cool.
We've received several million followers in just the last 6 hours. I was able to interview him today for over 2 hours. That interview drops tomorrow at Infowars.com/show
nice.
At 11 a.m. Central. Clips are already all over X, formerly Twitter.
Fucking A, man.
But despite all this incredible news, the deep state, the CIA, has been coming after us and has almost shut us down. We need...
Oh my God, dude. It's terrible. The deep state and the CIA are after him, man. Oh no. Dude, Alex Jones, after being banned from pretty much everywhere under the sun, he's been on Joe Rogan, biggest podcast on the face of the earth. He's been on Tucker Carlson's little weird Twitter show. Now he's back on Twitter to massive acclaim and aplomb. Now he's sitting around talking to Elon Musk himself, a guy who formerly was like, I would never show any mercy to that son of a bitch because my firstborn child died in my arms. And now it's like, oh, never mind. It's fine. Come to think of it, it's actually all good. Alex Jones, if anything, is more prominent now than he ever was before he was banned. Now he is literally the golden child of everybody's favorite billionaire to worship and grovel at the feet of. And, you know, not only that, he's now palling around. I mean, he was already palling around with Andrew Tate, but now Tate's profile has also been raised by his participation in this conversation. And like, it just seems like this like new super sort of powerful cabal of right-wing influencers is starting to emerge on this X platform. I mean, this is something I kind of was worried about when Alex Jones was initially banned in the first place, is like, what happens when all these right wingers who are getting kicked off of these social media platforms like YouTube and stuff, what happens when those guys all sort of, you know, decide we're going to go create our own alternative to this thing? I mean, you get sites like Rumble that has a whole bunch of traffic now. You get sites like, you know, Elon Musk buying Twitter, turning it into X, and now it's basically just like a glorified 4chan, right? And, you know, even if you go on YouTube, it seems to me like I, as a left winger that's just like scrolling through videos on YouTube, am constantly being fed things from a very right-wing perspective, right? So even platforms like YouTube that have, you know, maintained that Alex Jones should be not on the platform have continued to just host a shit ton of super virulent right-wing content. And not only do they seem to host it, but it seems like they push it. It seems like even someone like me, who I'm far more likely to watch left-wing content than right-wing content, it still feeds me tons and tons and tons of right-wing content, and it never organically is just like, how about this left-wing thing, right? So that's really bizarre to me. It seems like the social climate is once again very similar to what it was in 2016, but if anything, it feels almost like it's more that this time around. It feels like there's even less sort of contention, and it really feels like the online right is extraordinarily powerful and influential right now. And you go and look at a lot of these like left-wing channels, these explicitly left-wing channels. It just seems like they're in total disarray. You know, you just had Hassan and Ethan Klein part ways in this big drama fest. You just had, you know, you Destiny's got all this divorce news going on. You go watch Vosh's channel. It's like Vosh has turned into a complete and fucking utter doomer who's just like, oh man, we're fucked. Oh God, no, we're fucked. So there's no like hopefulness or optimism on the left. There is endless amounts of hope and optimism on the right, and they're just talking about we're taking down the deep state, everything that, you know, all these globalists that get in our path, we're gonna dismantle them, we're gonna rip them limb from limb. The CIA can't get me, you son of a bitch. And it's just like, feels like, you know, hey, haven't we done this before? Haven't we been down this path? I guess we're going to do it again. It feels really like, you know, we're doomed to repeat the very recent past at this point, doesn't it? It feels like we're right back to where we started from in 2016 when Trump, you know, first got elected, 2015, 2016. So let's take a look at some more of this little strategy that Alex Jones has to destroy the deep state or the globalist or whatever it was.
Need funding to keep fighting, and I make it easy to fund the operation.
Oh, he's just begging for money. I mean, dude, Alex Jones, this guy has so much money. Do not give Alex Jones money. He is so goddamn rich already. Anyway. Yeah, so I guess the plan to defeat the deep state is to keep lining Alex Jones's pocket. I should have known that. It felt like for a little while, there was sort of equal amounts of left-wingers and right-wingers on a lot of these platforms. Like YouTube felt like, you know, even though there was a lot of right-wing sort of cult channels that were very dominant, there was like a healthy amount of left-wing channels too. And I'm sure they still exist and stuff, but it just seems like the algorithm now feeds me right-wing content, even though that's not my politics. I guess I do watch a lot of right-wing content for shows like this, so that might kind of skew it. But I've heard about other people who even get onto YouTube, not even trying to look into political stuff, you know, but tons of, you know, of interests that in and of themselves, like, are apolitical. They have like right-wing pipelines built into them. It's like, I want to like lift weights. There's a right-wing pipeline there. I want to learn, you know, this skill or that skill to make me better in business or improve my mental health. A lot of these self-help channels and a lot of these gurus have right-wing pipelines built in. And you almost never see that on the left. You almost never see any sort of like left-wing pipeline. Even when you do kind of see that weekly, it's sort of like in, I guess, like a television show or something. But there's no actual pipeline. It's like a show will have maybe some left-wing ideas in it, or like maybe some sort of liberal-minded values that might be pushed in the show. But that show is not then sending you off to go watch some Noam Chomsky or something. Whereas, you know, you go to the weightlifting channel, before you know it, you're being fed Jordan Peterson somehow. So even though, of course, Jordan Peterson looks like he couldn't even he couldn't even lift a tea bag, okay? Twitter used to seem like there was a really healthy back and forth between the left and right. YouTube seemed like there was more of a back and forth there. You know, all these other social media platforms kind of felt like that as well. And now it feels more and more like everywhere you go on social media, it's just like right-wing shit. And I think a big part of the reason why is because there was all of this purging activity that happened where the right was like, oh, we're not welcome on these social media platforms. Well, then we're just going to, you know, coalesce into our own stuff. And them coalescing their own stuff eventually turned into them just like re-strengthening. And now they've sort of spread across these different platforms. I don't really understand why what's happened on YouTube has happened on YouTube. I don't really understand why they've become so prevalent on there, because it seems like the actual, you know, board of YouTube, the decision makers of YouTube, they don't really seem like they're pro right wing, but it seems like the algorithm somehow or another has become a very pro right wing algorithm. And I don't know if that's just like happenstance or if there's some sort of like will behind that. I don't want to speculate because I just don't know. Obviously, we all know what happened on X, Twitter. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw it today, but it's looking like Elon Musk might soon be getting rid of the community notes feature, which is like one of the few things on that site that was still worth a shit, is that you had bipartisan fact checkers that would, if someone posted something that was really untrue, and was, you know, misinformation, the fact checkers would do a little research, provide some links, stuff like that. So anyway, Elon Musk got fact checked by the fact checkers, and then he immediately accused them of, oh, looks like some, you know, government plants have infiltrated the notes system. Gonzalo Lira says, right now I am about to try to get out of Ukraine and seek political asylum in Hungary. Either I'll cross the border and make it to safety, or I'll be disappeared by the Kiev regime. I don't know what else they say. Musk says, what is the status of this American journalist, Joe Biden? And someone said, the reader added context is, Lira is actually a YouTuber. He has violated Article 436-2 of Ukraine's criminal code. He denied the Bucha massacre and other Russian attacks against civilians, exposed the location of Western journalists and Ukrainian soldiers, including their faces, among other crimes. And then they give a list of all the stuff he did. And then Musk is like, interesting, this note is being gamed by state actors. Will be helpful in figuring out who they are. Thanks for jumping into the honeypot, guys, LMAO. So I think you can pretty much expect that the community notes feature is going to disappear in short order. By the way, he was noted again on that post, basically just saying, like, hey, it's pretty much impossible to game community notes because there are people from all over the political spectrum that have to come to a consensus on what the facts are in order for that to happen. So that pretty much eliminates the possibility of bias, or I mean, can't eliminate the possibility of bias, but it makes the system very hard to game, especially by just like a few random state actors, right? It's not like some state actor can just be like, I have the power to do community notes. So anyway, because Elon Musk doesn't like facts, doesn't like fact checkers, doesn't like, you know, the facts getting in the way of his feelings, he's probably going to do away with the notes feature and just claim like, oh, it was being gamed by state actors. You guys, I had to get rid of it. That was the only solution. So no more fact checks on Twitter, you guys. So feel free to lie to your heart's content. Because what is a right-wing fucking platform if it doesn't allow rampant misinformation. Hey, I've already said fuck off to the advertisers anyway. We might as well just like let this thing be the bane of fucking society. Let this be the wellspring from which misinformation just creeps across the land. I mean, think about how much misinformation was spread via Facebook, even as they tried to curb it, right? Meanwhile, Twitter under Elon Musk's leadership is basically going to just say, we love misinformation here. Feel free to spread your misinformation here. We will not fact check you. There will be no pushback. You can control the narrative as much as you want. As long as you don't talk shit about Elon, of course, you know. You want to spread some misinformation or even accurate information about Elon. That's a whole other story. But as long as you're just trying to spread misinformation that bolsters right-wing positions, that's A-okay and always will be here on X. Yeah, you're not allowed to say the word cisgender, I guess. I don't know if, did he ever actually enforce that? He made a post about it, but like so much of the stuff he posts, it really doesn't amount to anything. I don't know if cisgender as a term was ever actually banned from Twitter, or if that was just some weird shit he said and then forgot about, 3 minutes later. I do know he at least said it, and he also said he was going to ban from the river to the sea as a phrase. So, I mean, like, yeah, he's a free speech absolutist until, of course, you say anything he disagrees with. And then, of course, his belief in free speech absolutely disintegrates. Just whoosh. It's like Tammy Lynn Leppert, gone without a trace. Look it up.